Hare Krishna. So welcome all of you for our today's discussion, for our weekly meetings.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So welcome all of you for our today's discussion.
Just a minute, I will wait for
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So as Janmashtami is coming very close, so on that occasion we thought to discuss about something so that we can really take the true advantage of this such a holy event, right? So that's why it's like a Janmashtami preparation. And then recently we had this course for the many news to, many other connected people. So we thought for all of you also we'll discuss this week. So in this week, instead of our regular Bhagavad Gita class, we'll discuss about the Krishna's first topic is the Krishna the greatest. Then the next topic is about Krishna the best friend. And then the third topic is Krishna the sweetest. And then one more session we have, that is question answers about Krishna. So this is today's first discussion about Krishna the greatest, how Krishna is the greatest one. Okay. So anybody has any concerns about sound or clarity, they can write into the chat box. And any questions also, if you want to ask, you can post it. At the end, we'll take question answers if time permits. Okay. So let's begin with our presentation. So this is our today's first topic, Krishna the greatest. So with our gratitude to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, would like to present this discussion. So all whatever the things we have collected here, it's all from the talks of Srila Prabhupada and shared by the very senior disciples, Maharajas. So that's how we're trying to present whatever small way we can do. So let's begin with the short prayers. Om Ajnana-Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे So we would like to express our okay. I think in the due course it will settle well. If the sound is breaking or something issues are there, let's check. So uh, actually, the main problem in this world is what? Is not the problem of economy, or is not the problem of food, or it is not the problem of the so-called the social pandemics things are going on around. These are the temporary period. It comes and it goes off, right? But the root cause of all these problems to take place in this world is what? It is the ignorance. The scriptures they define us this avidya. The ignorance is the cause for all of us to get entangled in this world, and because of that ignorance, the people start assuming the life with their own perspective. Okay, life is meant for this purpose, life is meant for some other purpose. So many assumptions people make about the life. So it has to be very very properly understood what our life is actually meant for, what our purpose of our life is, who the god is, why the birth and death happens, where do we go after death. So all those science has to be understood in context with our life. Then only we'll understand then why the things are happening in our life and how the things are coming to us, what is the cause behind that. So so then what is the solution for that removing ignorance? Like let's say now, let's say the hunger is a problem. I give the food, hunger is gone. But then again the next day person, when he clears his stomach, again he will ask for food. Then again you give the food, again hunger will be satisfied, but again the third day again he will ask for food. So it will go on again and again, right? So what is a solution for avidya to uproot, to remove that avidya from the root itself, so that we really understand what the life is, what the world around is, what the god, who is the god is, right? So the solution for avidya is Krishna Katha. We hear about Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's activities, and then we understand the nature of Lord Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. His name, his form, his qualities, his pastimes, all those things we understand. Then surely it will be, it will bring out that the dormant connection which is there within our heart. So Krishna Katha is the best remedy. People want to hear so many kathas, right? And perverted reflection of such kathas are what? People go for the movies. People watch for the Hollywood heroes or the Bollywood heroes or the Tollywood heroes, whatever they are, right? And they try to look themselves in their life. Okay, fine. If I am also the hero like that, or if I am also like that, oh, so nice, life is so amazing, I'll also try to do. But Krishna is coming and he's personally orchestrating the pastimes. He appears in like an ordinary human child, although he is not like that. He remains as a god, but he personally appears in this world as an ordinary human being. And then he demonstrate what is our actual place is, and how we can find really true satisfaction in our life when we connect with that Almighty Lord. So that will remove all our ignorance. So that's why Krishna Katha is very, very important. And as Janmashtami is coming, so this is a time where we can really zoom in, understand our connection with God, revive or strengthen our connection more properly. Then it will be more substantial. Like let's say in a family, we have our father, mother, or children, those who are married or things, right? So imagine if you come to know you are one of the relatives so extraordinary, so amazing, then you'll be so much proud, right? You'll feel that, oh, I have such a great person with me. I can then do the best use of being with him. Like that, Krishna is present. Krishna is there. Although he left in the Dwapar Yuga, but he is there in his holy name. He is there in his holy pastimes. He is there in his holy dhams. So if we access those things, then we'll experience the same things. That's why the today's topic is Krishna the greatest. So let's begin the discussion about those things. So everybody wants to serve the greatest, right? Everybody wants to become the great in this world. So once, this is a story Srila Prabhupada narrates. Once the one boy was there, and he also wanted to serve the greatest, right? We want the greatest job, let's say Microsoft or Google. So I mean, whatever we consider as the greatest, we want the most beautiful of the people in our life, or we want the most best of the things, basically the greatest. So this boy also was on a search to find that greatest, so that I can serve, I can do the job for that greatest. So in a village, generally sarpanch or like a panchayat head or something, he was the greatest for the village. So he went and started serving. Then he found that in his house, one in a month once, one car used to come for him, and the person used to get down. The sarpanch used to get up and salute him. Then he understood sarpanch is not the greatest. Then he asked, "You also serve somebody?" He said, "Oh yes." Then who is that person? Then he said, "He's a district head." Oh, then he's the greatest, then I should go to him. I want to serve him. Then he went to the district head. Then he saw the district head is also serving the chief minister, who is a state head. Then he went to the state head also for doing service. And then he saw that the chief minister, who is a state head, he also gives monthly report to the prime minister, who is the topmost man in the country. Then he went to him and started serving. And then he saw this prime minister also, he goes occasionally to one saint, one sage, and he bows down to him. He considers himself to be ordinary in front of that sage. So means sage is the greatest. So boy thought, like, let me go to that sage. So he started serving the sage. But then he saw that sage is also bowing down in front of some kind of a statue kept, that is none other than the Lord. Then the sage told, "My dear boy, the Lord is the supreme, Lord is the greatest." And that boy started serving the greatest. So he went to that temple, and then he slept in front of the Lord's temple only. But seeing the boy's devotion and seeing the boy's commitment for service to the God, yeah, and it was a chilly cold, it was a winter, and generally in the villages, or I mean in the forest or something, the temples will be open, and he was sleeping right in front of the temple hall. And seeing his problem of cold and all, God personally gave the chadar to him, which was God's chadar. And next day Pujari came in the morning, he saw, "Arey, this, who has taken this God chadar? He has stolen that." So he called the king and all, kind of they made him punishment. But the Lord came in the dream of Pujari, and he told, "He is my devotee. He has come to serve me. So that's why I have given him that chadar." So that's the point. Ultimately, we understand, Prabhupada says, the moral of the story, that Krishna is the greatest, the God is the greatest. And when we sincerely want to connect with that greatest, then surely God will show us the proper path. Surely God will guide us to the right direction. So that's why, from our side, we have to make sure we keep honest desire in our heart. We have a genuine intention in our heart that I really want to connect with the God in my life. So that's the point. And then Krishna is the greatest. So many episodes in the scripture they establish. So some of the points were collected here, where we can, of course, I mean, there is no, we can go on for hours together discussing about how Krishna is the greatest. But a few points were collected from this episode. So for all of us to relate how little incidents from the scriptures or the episodes around what Prabhupada has narrated. So sometimes question comes, who is that greatest God? Okay, fine, we understood that the God is the greatest, but who is that God? And especially in our scriptures, it is being mentioned there are crores of the devatas, 23 crores of some number is there, right? And so the same question came amongst the sages also. Once there were all the sages assemblies in one of the yugas, and they were sitting and they were wanted to come to the conclusion, who is that one supreme, right? There should be one supreme from whom all the other things comes, right? So that's why, uh, so they appointed the Bhrugu Muni. Bhrugu Muni was the most learned and the scholar person amongst them. And they had a point of three personality to test. They understood Brahma, Vishnu, or Shiva. Out of these three will be one only will be the supreme. because they know that Brahma creates, Vishnu maintains, and Shiva destroys. And all Devi Devatas, they approach to these three personalities for any problem comes. But among these three, who is the supreme, they wanted to decide. And that's why Bhrigu Muni started for his journey. And first he goes to Brahma, right? So Brahma, when he goes to the Brahma, Bhrigu is related as a son of Brahma. But then when he goes to meet Brahma, then he just stand. He doesn't pays any obeisances, neither he bows down, neither he glorifies his father. That's the etiquette, right? In our life also, it's very, very important to respect our superiors, especially those who are senior by age. Prabhupada says there are 6 criteria. Who are the superiors? By age, or by, the responsibilities the people have taken, right? Or maybe by the knowledge somebody might be superior. So these are but there, especially father and mother, there is no question, they are the superior for us. So the Bhrigu Muni went, but he did not pay, he just stood like this. And then he understood Brahma has become angry, he's seeing me, he's so disrespectful. And then if somebody is becoming angry, means he's not controlled, he cannot control his anger, he has overpowered by anger. Then he understood Brahma is not supreme. Then he went to the Shiva, the next in the Kailash. And Bhrigu is related as a brother of Shiva. And as soon as Shiva saw that Bhrigu has come, immediately he ran for embracing him. But Bhrigu told, what kind of brother you are? You are smeared with the ashes around, there is a snake in your neck, and all the ghosts and hobgoblins, they stay around you. Don't come near to me, don't pay the obeisances to, embrace to me. And Shiva became very angry. You see here in the picture, he took the trident only to attack on Bhrigu. But Mother Parvati comes in between and then stops. Then Bhrigu understood that Shiva is also not the supreme. And then finally Bhrigu goes to Vishnu. And then Vishnu was there with Mother Lakshmi, right? Mother Lakshmi was massaging the Vishnu's lotus feet there. Bhrigu goes straight into the chamber and kicks on the chest of Lord Vishnu, right? You see here in the picture. And imagine what happens if somebody comes in our house and straightway gives a slap to us, right? It's not, naturally one will become angry. But what is the response of Vishnu? You see, Vishnu says, oh, great sage, please forgive me. I did not notice that you are coming. And I was just taking rest here. I hope by kicking you on my chest, you have kicked on my chest, but your feet should have not got any problem, any injury, because my chest is very hard. So please forgive me. That is Vishnu's response. And then Bhrigu understood, my God, what is this personality? That's why he understood Vishnu is the supreme person. And that's why Prabhupada writes very historical statement. You want to know somebody, you want to test somebody's greatness. This is Prabhupada writes in the Krishna book. The greatness of a person has to be estimated by his ability to tolerate provoking situation. In our life, many time, like we get tempted, like somebody small quarrel happens, immediately we make it into the big, so much so that we fight against each other, we keep our relationship and things and all, we don't look into that things, and that create the impact into the further development. So but then Vishnu provoking situation was what? For Brahma it was a mental test. Mentally, Bhrigu Muni not offered respect. For Shiva, it was a verbal test. Bhrigu spoke the words, and then Shiva became angry. But for Vishnu, it is a physical test, which is even more tougher. Like let's say somebody just look at us like that, okay, fine, we can tolerate. Somebody speaks us something, okay, we can settle it by mutual understanding or things like that. But if somebody takes physical action against us, which cannot be accepted, right? So that's why Vishnu could manifest that. And then all this Bhrigu comes back and reports to the sages that how he tasted, and then the Vishnu was concluded as the supreme. Vishnu is the supreme personality of Godhead. And that's why there is a very simple definition about God. If you remember in our last Bhagavad Gita session, in a 2.3, I think, yeah, there Sri Bhagavan Vacha, the Lord starts speaking the dialogue. And Prabhupada gives the purport in the purport, who is that Bhagavan, right? So in this world, people get attracted to so many things, right? Some people are very beautiful. People get attracted to the beauties. Or some people are very, very rich, the wealthy. That becomes the attraction principles. Or some people are very knowledgeable. They're highly learned. They have such a talent or things. People get attracted to them. Some people are very, very powerful. They have a great strength. So people get attracted to them. Or some people are very famous. They want to keep in touch with such famous people, right? They're all famous. Or some people are very renounced. They're like a sages. So people appreciate their renunciation. So all those attraction principles comes from whom? That comes originally from Krishna. So Prabhupada gives the example of a mirage. We get attracted to the mirage, the deer gets attracted to the mirage thinking that there is a water, but actually there is no water. That's just a reflection. But that gives the indication that originally somewhere water do exist. Water exists. So same thing in this world, we see people have some kind of somebodies are beautiful, some people are handsome, some people are knowledgeable, some people are rich, some people are very powerful or things. Means what? Originally all those things belongs to somebody that are reflected into this world, and that is a definition of Bhagavan. The Lord is all beautiful. Lord's beauty is unmatchable, and not that he becomes old also. In the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna's age was 125-year old, but then we don't see Krishna's any picture with the beard or white hairs or the wrinkled face or the stick in the hand. No, rather he has a stick in the hand to take the care of the cows, right? So Krishna's beauty is so enchanting. So Krishna got confused. Once Krishna was thinking, what is there with me that my devotees are so attracted to me? They're always hankering behind my beauty. So Krishna wanted to see about himself. And he looked into the floor below, right, which was a ground. And in the spiritual world, the floors are so clean and neat, as good as like a mirror. And as soon as Krishna saw his own reflection, he was shocked. Are, who is this personality? Am I so beautiful? Oh, it's so attractive, right? So even God also, of course, that is a pastime to show, but the point is God is all attractive. God is all beautiful. So in our life also, if you really want to become beautiful in a true way, externally we may try by putting cosmetics, by decorating, by parlors or things and all, but that beauty will fade away afterwards. As the time grows, the old age will come and eventually the beauty will be taken away. But we can remain eternally beautiful by reviving our connection with God. So that's why if you connect with that all the beautiful source, our life becomes beautiful, our relationship become beautiful, our dealings in this world, our existence, everything looks very beautiful. So that's the beauty. God is all wealthiest. God is the richest person. The Lakshmi serves him. Like Lakshmi Sahasra Sata Sambrama Sevyamanam. Right? Like somebody is the richest man, we see he has a bungalow, he has a park in his house, he has independent quarters or things, so many cars. But if you want to know about Krishna's palace, if you want to know about Krishna's spiritual world, it is said one dust of Vrindavan, Krishna stays in Golok Vrindavan, right? One dust particle of Vrindavan, if you take, it is much, much more beyond the comparison of all the wealth of even the Vaikunthas also. That is being described by our acharyas. Chintamani prakara sadmasu kalpa vriksha laksha vriteshu surabhir abhipalayantam Lakshmi sahasra sata sambrama sevyamanam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So Krishna is the wealthiest person. And that's why these are the episodes. When the Rajsuya Yagya was to be performed, Yudhishthir Maharaj established Krishna as the Agra Puja. The man for Agra Puja is given to Krishna. And all the Lakshmi Sahasra. Actually, in spiritual world, there is no dirt. Always it is neat and clean. But Mother Lakshmi is taking the broom in the hand. For what purpose? Just to attract the attention of the Lord. So that she also wants to render service to the Lord, because the Lakshmi is serving, right? We call money as Lakshmi. Okay, so we have to respect. Actually, when the money comes, if you don't use properly, then money will be checked away from our life. But if that money is used in a right way, money is used in a proper way, then the Krishna will supply more and more, because Lakshmi is used. So Lakshmi is a uh, goddess of fortune. She is a consort of Lord. And if Lakshmi is used, like wife should be serving husband, right? If wife is not serving husband, then wife goes other behind other people or some things, then she will not be the giving real what we say real satisfaction. Then she is considered like a prostitute are the one who goes behind many men, and that's why that doesn't bring any peace in the relationship, right? So Lakshmi should be used in the service of the husband. That is Lord Krishna, that is Lord Vishnu. So that's why we have to also check our earnings are the gift of the God, and that earnings will be sanctified when the part of that whatever best, like His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he is one of the very senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada. He was a CEO of Coca-Cola in during those days when Prabhupada was there. So at the end of the month, whatever salary used to come, all the salaries he used to bring in front of Prabhupada and he used to give to Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada used to call him and ask, what are your expenditures, your family, how much you require? and how many people you have and things. Okay, fine. And that much he used to give, and remaining all used in the service of Krishna. That is their dedication. So these are the living examples in front of us. So our wealth, the God is the wealthiest. We want to also become truly wealthy, then we have to connect with that wealthiest. So that's why Krishna is the richest. Then he will give us whatever is required. Sudama gave whatever is best. Krishna made his palace into like more than heavenly palace also. And Krishna's knowledge is an uncomparable match. The Gita is such a profound wisdom, right? Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna gave, all the Vedas are emanating from the flute vibration of Krishna. You see here in the picture. So the Brahma received the knowledge from Krishna, right? So four sampradayas, they all received knowledge from Krishna. And so many commentaries people have written, and that really brought out the transformation in the life. Material knowledge, people study little bit, they reform their material life, right? Somebody studies hard, he increases his what is economical status, but our life overall status will be possible, not only material but spiritual also, provided we hold this knowledge in our life. So Krishna's knowledge is so amazing. Krishna katha is the solution for all this avidya to remove from our life. So this reminds us of one story, Srila Prabhupada's narrative. Once there was a thief, okay, and this thief, he was training his child, because it's a generation of thieves. And then the father generates, the father train the children also in the same career. So father thief is training a child thief how to do the thieveries. And then he was telling the do's and don'ts, what things you should do while taking thieveries and things and all. And then one of the principal, he told, never ever associate the saintly people, never ever hear about them from them. Okay, that's one of the don'ts, he said. And then all other things he heard. And the child thief went for his first trial all alone. And he successfully stolen the things and all wealth from the house. And he came out, but suddenly he heard the police sound. Police siren is coming, and then he got afraid. He started running. Police van was coming behind, and he was running ahead. And suddenly, while running, he saw one temple where the katha was going on about Krishna. And then somehow he thought there is no things around to hide or something. He entered into the temple and sat there. And the police van just passed by. They did not notice, because temples generally they will not go, right? And then he sat there till the time van goes and settles, and he came out and again went back. But in the meanwhile, when he came out again, the police van came and caught him somehow or other, and he was taken to the jail. And then those time the kings were there, used to rule, and then the kings has to decide for the punishment for that thief. And kings knows that those thieves and dacoits, they are the devotees of Kali, they worship Durga. So he thought that he is not telling the truth, he is not opening, I'll make him stand in front of Kali, so that he has to take a vow of Kali. And of course those days thieves and dacoits, they are also very loyal to the gods. Not that nowadays the people show we are the devotees of God, but then they don't follow the principles of God. Not like that. Even the thieves were so committed. So he was brought in front of Kali. But then suddenly he remembered some things. What he remembered, for that short time he sat in that katha of the sadhus, he heard three statements. How to know who are the divine people in this world? The three symptoms the kathakar was explaining. First, his eyes never blinks. If somebody is from the divine personality, his eyes never blinks. Second, he never have a shadow. Although the light is there upon him, but the shadow will not get. His body shadow will not be there. And third, his leg will not touch the ground. He will be like a floating in the sky. He will be flying in the air. He cannot, I mean, that's how we see when Yudhishthir Maharaj or great personalities, they were there, their feet was not touching to the ground. These are the three symptoms he had. Then he saw Durga or Kali is a divine personality. But in front of him, what Kali was brought actually was not the original Kali. King thought that will make somebody look like a Kali, so that he will be threatened to speak the truth that he has stolen. But he saw this Kali's eyes are blinking. Kali has a shadow also, and she's standing on the ground. So he told, I did not steal anything in front of Kali. I take a vow that I have not stolen anything. And then the king released him. But later he realized, for that short moment, I heard from the sadhus. I got that knowledge little bit that saved my life. Otherwise, I have been chopped off. My head would have been chopped off. Imagine if whole life, if I discuss from the sadhus or hear about Krishna, what my life will be transformed. Immediately he gave up his thievery profession and all, and he continued hearing about Krishna Katha. So that is the power of knowledge. People are want to know why am I suffering, why problems are happening, why those things and all, and they try their best. What gives them immediate understanding? But the ultimate understanding is what? Only lack of Krishna consciousness. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur told, who is a spiritual master of our dear Srila Prabhupada, that Prabhupada was telling, now Britishers are ruling, who will hear our message? Then Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur told that the message of Lord Chaitanya, message of our Guru Parampara coming from Krishna can wait for nobody. Today Britishers are there, previously Mughals are there, afterwards some other people will come. But the people suffering is going on. And once person dies, if human form of life is gone, then finished. What's the point? So that's why this knowledge is like a reviving medicine for all of us. We may not be best educated in our material way, but we should not be compromising when it comes to the spiritual knowledge. Human form of life given for that purpose. And many episodes we can discuss about. We need not to be great Sanskrit scholars or for which only we can understand scriptures. No, Prabhupada has written so profound way, such a simple English, which even the child also can understand. We are doing value education contest and many programs. So many children, they are sitting with Bhagavad Gita and all of they are reading and studying. So and then when we are grown up, we are ourselves are settling our life, and children are looking towards us as an ideal example. So it's very important to prioritize. That's why regularly reading Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, or coming for satsang, this will revive our true knowledge. So Krishna is the source of all knowledge. And then the fourth, Krishna is all powerful. Krishna's strength is unmatchable to anybody. That's why he's a god. And these are the few episodes where you see Krishna is lifting a Govardhan hill. Right? When first time the foreign devotees they heard about Krishna's episode of lifting Govardhan, they draw the paintings and they showed the big biceps for Krishna, because Krishna is lifting Govardhan, and they showed some sweat or kind of faces like kind of struggling. Krishna is lifting to struggle. They brought the painting to Prabhupada. And then Prabhupada said, Krishna is a god. While lifting also, he's all attractive, he's blissful. And for him, not require biceps or something. So on that weakest finger of the body, he lifted for 7 days and 7 nights together. And he was standing in his threefold bending form, right? You see here. And he was blissfully playing the flute also, right? And it was not that as if like he was like a completely tired or something and support. No, Krishna's strength, although he's a child, he killed Putana, he killed so many demons, right? He danced on the hoods of Kalia. If somebody says I am all powerful, and I'll ask him to dance on the hoods of any snake or something. Right? So Krishna is all powerful. We want strength in our life, we want to be powerful, but our power is limited beyond in front of the forces of this material world, where like a tiny fig with one way of the diseases or with one way of the some attacks or things and all, our life is threatened. But if we hold on this all powerful personality in our life, he will situate us, he will create us the best situation for all the time to come. So that's why this Janmashtami is the wonderful occasion to revive our connection again, strengthen our relationship with that almighty personality. And then Krishna's fame, right? People want to become famous in this world. They want to come the more likes or more and more viewers or more and more nowadays, because everything is digitalized. Or they want to know that my society, my relatives, they should know how I am the best, how I am the things. Because Krishna is originally all famous, and that perverted reflection comes into our life. We also want to be called as all famous. But what is our fame? Ram Navami, we're celebrating from Ram appeared in the Treta Yuga, 10 million years are over. But today also we are so proud of establishing Ayodhya. We celebrate Ram Navami, we celebrate Dashera, right? So who is there that one personality tell us once the Kali Yuga will settle down and think people will forget, everything will close off. But Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's activities and all today also is glorified. Krishna is famous as Makhan Chor. Krishna is famous as Bhakta Vatsala, who protected for his helpless devotees, right? Draupadi's episode, all of us we know. So our life will be truly famous when we connect to that all famous personality. So we have to become famous not into the worldly measures. Like people in this world, they see how much educated you are, how much wealth we have, or how much what is it, the status we have in this world, right? And people measure those things based on that our famous. But we have to be famous in the eyes of God. Let the world me see or not, that doesn't bother. But God is looking constantly towards me. I should become famous. I should attract the glance of the God in my life. So Janmashtami, Lord is standing, Lord is looking for all the jivas, for all the souls to turn towards him. and he's ready to throw his this glance, the merciful glance, the kripa kataksha. He's ready to bestow upon all of us, so provided we access to him. So that's why the God's famous is, and then the God's renunciation. Right, in this world we see people get some kind of little things, extra things and all. That normal tendency is to become proud, right? Thinks ourselves the special personality. But God, although has so many things, he's a wealthiest, he's a beautiful, he's all knowledgeable, he's all powerful, right? All those things we saw. But still, in spite of that, God is completely renounced. God is detached. He's not proud of that. And for the sake of devotees, what not he can do, right? He became the chariot driver. We studied, right, in the Bhagavad Gita sessions, what it takes to become a chariot driver. Krishna is washing the feet of Sudama Brahmana. Now Krishna became the king of Dwarka, practically for the whole world. There was no match for Krishna, right? It's like, let's say, the chief minister or prime minister, let's say, and his other friend who remain as a poor person only. So how one will receive to him at his home if that poor person goes? All of you know from Mahabharata episode, Drupad and Drona. Drupad and Drona, they were also together in Gurukul, but Drupad became the king and Drona continued to remain as a ordinary Brahmana. But he remembered the Drupad's promise that if you want anything, you can come and ask me, I'll help you out. But then he forgot the friendship. That's how we know that episode happens. Pandavas, they go and defeat the Drupad on behalf of Drona. But Krishna, although he became the king, he never ever forgot that close friendship with Sudama. He's such a, I mean, he never ever think himself proud. Oh, Sudama, or he would have told my servants, please give him some money or wealth. You ask him to go, I am not the great person. No. Krishna is ready to come to for whatever status we are in. We might be now locked down in all of our houses or things and all, but with that devotion, with that love, with that genuinity of our heart, with that sincere intention, we really call out Krishna. We make our life God centered. Whatever food we prepare, first offer to the God and all, then surely God will access there also. God is there in the temple. God is there wherever the devotees are sincerely want to connect with him. So these are the episodes. Krishna carried the chappals on his head, right? The chief ministers or something, they carry the, what is it, the festival here they do, na? On the head they keep that flower festivals, Sankranti or time. But chappal, we don't see anybody carrying. But Krishna, for the sake of his devotees, loving devotees, he agreed to look like an ordinary child, and he carried that, took the chappal on his head. And then there is another episode of Nar Narayan Rishi. Indra wanted to test that, who is this sage doing tapasya? He sent some heavenly damsels to allure that Nar Narayan Rishi. So Nar Narayan is none other than Lord Krishna and Arjuna only, both together. So you see here in the picture, last side here, right? So when Indra sent Urvashi's, I mean the heavenly damsels from the sky to allure that Narnarayan Rishi, from his body, this sage, this Narnarayan Rishi, he created Urvashi, who was the best looking, and he sent the gift to Indra. You take this, what you are alluring me, right? So in Dwarka also, Kuhakarna Sheku, it says that in Bhagavatam it comes. All Dwarka queens were so attractive, were so beautiful, even the Cupid was getting captivated seeing the beauties of the queens. But such queens, when they were trying to attract Krishna's attention, Krishna was not like an ordinary henpecked husband. Although he exhibited like that, but he was self-satisfied. He was never ever like behind the beauties of the people, and he was just reciprocating with that love. So that is his renunciation. So that's why this Janmashtami is a wonderful opportunity for all of us to understand that who is that true Bhagwan and how is the so greatest for our life. So originally all those six opulences, they come from that all greatest personality, that is Krishna. And that's why Bhagavad Gita we say, right? It says Bhagavan Uvacha, right? Not Sanjay Uvacha. I mean, for Sanjay it is Sanjay Uvacha, Dhritarashtra Uvacha, Arjuna Uvacha. But for Krishna, it is not written that Krishna Uvacha. It is as they write Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. So that's why in this world somebody maybe possess lakhs of rupees, crores of rupees, Lakpati, Karapati, but nobody can be called as Lakshmipati. Only Lord Krishna is the Lakshmipati. Right? Somebody's name may be Lakshmipati, but he doesn't possesses the wealth of the whole world. Nobody can claim that whole world belongs to me. Only one who is a fool he can say, because he is a fool. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Aham sarvasya prabhavo, matta sarvam pravartate, or maya adhyakshena prakriti. I am the adhyaksha of this prakriti. Right? Mattah parataram nanyat kinchid asti dhananjaya. There is nothing superior to me or like better than me. I am the best. And the Lord is directly claiming. Who can challenge the God? So that's why that makes the Krishna as God. And then there is another interesting definition how God, God, right? Generator, operator, and destroyer. Krishna himself creates Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, and they do the functions of creating the universe and then maintaining the universe and destruction of the universe when the time comes for annihilation. So Vishnu, of course, Vishnu is a Vishnu Tattva, Brahma is a Jiva Tattva, and Shiva is a Shambhu Tattva. So these are different principles which will be discussed in our Bhagavad Gita sessions further. But the point is, this is a functions which God creates all those personalities and they function on behalf of God. So Vishnu and Krishna, there is no difference. Okay, Brahma, there is a difference. Brahma is like a Jiva, like we all are Jiva, but Brahma is a first Jiva. He's extraordinary Jiva, and Shiva is like a Lord in touch with material energy, like a milk mixed with curd becomes the curd. So when Lord wants to operate in this world, when he comes in contact with this world, he takes the form of Shiva. So that's why there is a separate identity of Shiva. And then when it want to maintain the affairs of this world, he's like a Lord into the office, right? We know, like let's say, Prime Minister is giving office talk, so he'll be more formal and all. But at the home, he will be wearing a lungi and cool and relax, right? So Krishna, God at home is like Krishna in Goloka, and God at office is like Vishnu, who is maintaining the affairs of the world. So that is a general understanding. And then these are the some of the Bhagavad Gita shlokas. These we quoted 10.8, and then this 10.2. Name vidu suragana. Not even the gods, sages, and all, they cannot fathom my opulence. What it is, my opulence is beyond. That's what 10th chapter talks about the these things, opulences of the Lord in very amazing way. And Brahma also he prays Ishvara Parama Krishna. That in Bhagavad Gita session also we saw how Govinda is the original personality. He is a Parama Krishna. And Sachida Anadir Adir Govinda. For him there is no beginning, no end. Sarva Karana Karanam. He is a cause of all causes. So and then Bhagavatam also, first canto, third chapter, it describes all the incarnations, all the avatars, Varaha, Vamana, Kacha, Parshurama, Rama. But then when at the end it describes Etecha Amsakala Pumsam, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is the source of all the avatars. So he is not avatar, he is a avatari from whom all avatars comes. So that is the meaning. All the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions, like parts or parts of the parts. That way you can understand. But Krishna is the original personality. So that's why I mean such an amazing thing for all of us. Krishna never ever closes his doors, right? Krishna is ready. Krishna is standing in the altar and giving his darshan. Krishna is waiting. Okay, when the people will come towards me. So the greatest person is ready to accept even the smallest insignificant person like us. So that is his greatness. That not only by the powers or beauty, by that of course, that's why he stands as a god. Prabhupada writes, Janmadhyasya, from whom everything emanates. He's like a zero point, right? From whom everything emanates, everything begins. By way, of course, that greatness is there, but Krishna's even more greater thing is, although he's so great, but he's ready to accept the devotees' love, whatever they want to reciprocate. So our tomorrow's session will be discussing about those episodes. How Krishna is so sweet and so kind for all of us. So that makes Krishna's greatness absolute greatness. And Brahma also says to Narada, Narada thought, Brahma, you are supreme. I am seeing everything is coming from you. You are maintaining and everything. Then Brahma says, you are illusioned actually. If somebody thinks that I am the greatest, he is a fool. The translation here you can see. Please know that I am speaking the truth when I say to you that there is no one equal to Krishna. I know very well that he's the transcendental marking on his lotus foot, right? In the previous slide here we saw in the lotus feet, Krishna's lotus feet are shown and all the markings are being shown on that. So somebody says he is a god, he is a Bhagwan, ask his feet to show or ask him to lift the Govardhan or things like that. So nobody can do such things. So these are the some of the scriptural quotations by which you can understand the Krishna's and then Brahma Vimohan Lila, right? In the episode of when Brahma got confused, Brahma when Aghasura was killed, which was even frightening the Devi Devatas and all. This ordinary boy, how he can kill Aghasur? Even Brahma got confused, right? Sometime in our life also. Now we are practicing Krishna consciousness. We want to know about God, but sometimes we forget that the God is there, God's greatness is, let me take help of God or something. So Brahma, Krishna used Brahma to teach all of us a lesson. Brahma is not an ordinary person, he is a pure devotee. But for all of us to teach a lesson, Krishna used Brahma. Brahma gets confused. And to test the Krishna's supremacy, he kidnaps the cowherd boys and calves. And then Krishna understands that Brahma has done these episodes. Now I will teach him a lesson. Then what Krishna does, Krishna expands himself into the same cowherd boys, into the same calves and cows with the same features. What are their complexion, what is their shapes, what is their language and all, everything exact. And like that 1 year goes. And Brahma comes and sees there is nothing. All are like the same things are going on. He says, I have stolen there and I have hidden them. Who are they then? Then who are here? He gets confused. That's when Vrindavan, when we had gone for Yatra, there is one area called village called as Sehi. That was a place where Brahma had kidnapped the cowherd boys and calves. So why that name Sehi came? Because Brahma got bewildered. Ye sahi kya wo sahi? Who is sahi? Who are the real people? That's why that village name became Sehi. So Brahma got confused. And then to remove the bewilderment of Brahma, Krishna expands. They are none other than the Vishnu forms only. And that shocks Brahma even more, so much so that he falls at the feet of Krishna. And that's how he recites wonderful prayers in the glorification of Lord. So he thought Krishna is an ordinary personality, but when he sees that all these cowherd boys were none other than the Vishnu's incarnation, and Vishnu is like a reporting authority for Brahma. In our office, we have project managers or heads or something whom we should report. So Vishnu, Brahma knows because 400 forms straight away. That's why today also in Bhagavatam class, our devotees were sharing that Krishna first he appeared as 400 forms so that people should not doubt that he is not a god. So that's why Krishna showed. And then when 400 from Brahma saw, he got completely, then he understood he's not an ordinary. He's a source of all those Vishnu forms, source of so many episodes. So that's why that is another. Then Vishnu also stole that episode comes in the Krishna book. Vishnu also steals the one of the boys of the Brahmanas. Then to protect the vow of Arjuna that he will protect the sons of Brahmana, but the son has gone. Arjuna searches practically everywhere, but he is not able to find. Then Krishna says, "Okay, fine, come with me." And then Krishna takes Arjuna far, far outskirt of all these universes. Then takes him straight to the Vaikuntha where Vishnu was there. And then Vishnu had stolen the Brahmana's son because Vishnu wanted to have darshan of Krishna. Vishnu was also knowing that Krishna has appeared. I want to see the darshan of my master also. So that's how we saw. Bhrigu tasted Vishnu as a supreme, but in these episodes we come to know that Krishna is also the source of that Vishnu. And Govardhan episode, Indra got tested. Or even Banasura episode, Shiva's test was there. Shiva gets defeated. So much so that then he praised for the Krishna's mercy. Because Banasura had a benediction from Shiva, and Shiva gives the protection to him. But in front of Krishna, even the Ravana got protection from Shiva. And Mata Parvati was telling, "Oh God, oh my dear husband, your devotee Ravana is in a trouble now. Please go and help him." Then Shiva laughs and he says, "He's my God also who is fighting with that Ravana. In front of him, nothing can happen." So somebody worships Devi Devtas and all, their benedictions are only temporary. But if somebody worships Krishna, his assurance, his insurance is like Yogakshemam Vahamyam. It gives whatever we are lacking, and it provides also whatever we are lacking, and protects whatever we have. And in front of Krishna's benediction, all other Devi Devtas, they also bow down. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvar gunes tatra samasate sura. Right, those shlokas Bhagavatam that describes. So that's why Janmashtami is again to give our confirmation to Krishna that I want to be your devotee. So many lifetimes I have passed. I just struggled for behind the worldly things. I was attracted by the worldly pleasures, or I was attracted to the karma kanda processes or some kind of pujas with other gods or things and all. But now I understood your supremacy. Now I am understanding who you are. Now let me try to revive your connection. So it's not that we neglect the Devi Devatas, we offer our respects to them. Like let's say Prime Minister there and below him Chief Ministers, MLAs and all. So it's not that we neglect Chief Minister, MLA, no. We offer respects as per their level, but our heart we should give to the top person, that is Krishna. And we connect with Krishna, naturally all other gods also, they become subordinate. So that's why we have to revive our connection. And then that episode also we discussed. Krishna married 16,108 wives, and they were not like a Miss Universe or something or like that. Their beauty, they're all like a Lakshmi's incarnations only. They were so beautiful, so their description is there in the Krishna book. But Krishna never ever got attracted to their beauty, but he was attracted to their devotion. So in this world, opposite sex is the greatest attraction, is a binding knot, and that's why this world is called as a Maithuna Agar, right? The place where the everybody is shackled by the sex life. Nobody can say that I don't have attraction for sex or something. And people become slave for such wrong desires also. They get carried away, and that's why we see so many wrong things happens into the society. But the Krishna, he's a mastery. That's why his name is called as Madana Mohana. So it is said, if somebody sees the wonderful eyebrows of Lord, somebody meditates, right, takes the darshan of Lord, all his lust within his heart will be destroyed, right? So that's why Prabhupada, once he was traveling in a car, and then the auto person, Swamiji, he was in US, he was traveling, and that person asked, what magic can you show? And then the Prabhupada replied, if you keep me in a room filled with a naked woman also, still nothing can happen to me. I'll remain protected. That man was shocked only because in US and all, culture is what they get, I mean, free mixing and things and all. And when Swami answered in that way, he could relate what is the power of Swami. And then the Prabhupada told, I'll kick Mr. Lust, what this lust can do to me. And devotee were very amazed. And then one day Prabhupada was praying very fervently in front of Lord. And then the devotee asked, Prabhupada, what you are praying? And then the Prabhupada told, oh Lord, please protect me from Maya. Please protect me from your illusory energy. And then the devotee thought, but Prabhupada, you told you will kick Mr. Lust, what it can do? Prabhupada told, because I pray, because I ask for the prayers from God, that's why I can say like that. Right? So if you learn to pray, then you will not become prey to the worldly illusory energies. That's why the Janmashtami is, we want to remain, we don't want to get cheated in this world. We want to see the things in a true sense, right? So that's why this worldly illusory energy is such a that people become mad, people become slave, they forget their good intelligence. And Bhagavatam gives such episodes, even the great personalities also. So that's why the Janmashtami is the occasion where we can really make our life substantial. A true purpose of our life can be worked upon by connecting to that all original pure person, that is Krishna. So people, they say, why Krishna married so many wives? Because they compare themselves with Krishna, or they are so envious, they are not able to enjoy with so many girls. So they want to say that why Krishna is doing like that, they want to put a case against Krishna. But they don't understand, Krishna is not like a ordinary person who gets affected by that lust, but Krishna is a Madana Mohana. So our life will also be sublime when we connect with Krishna. And these are the other features. In Bhagavad Gita, we see universal form, or Markandeya Muni's supremacy also, right? All of you know. Markandeya Muni wanted to see the devastation, the destruction energy of Lord. And when Krishna fulfilled that desire, he saw Vatapatra Shahi Krishna, right? Wonderfully, one small baby lying down on a banyan leaf, putting a toe in his mouth. A small baby in the midst of all destruction. Oh, so happy, so blissful. Krishna, you are the God, you are the supreme person. So Markandeya Muni glorifies wonderfully. And then these are by quality wise also. Brahma has only 50 qualities, Shiva has 55 qualities, Vishnu possesses 60 qualities, but only Krishna has full 100%, 64, all 64 qualities in full. And what are those additional 4 qualities apart from Vishnu? Krishna is a Leela Madhuri. His pastimes are so enchanting, it's so heart fulfilling, right? In the next tomorrow's discussions, we'll come to know about few of the episodes. We'll see. Krishna's Bhakta Madhuri. Krishna's dealing with his devotees are so sweet. So mesmerizing that devotees, they completely lose their hearts to that Supreme Lord. And Krishna's Venu Madhuri. He plays flute in such a way. Bhagavatam says there is one chapter, Gopis glorifying the Krishna's flute. When Krishna plays the flute, whole 3 worlds starts becoming vibrating Krishna's flute. And not only that, but then that is power also. Of all Vedas are emanating from Krishna's flute. All the cows and cowherd boys and all, they get attracted by Krishna's flute. And Krishna's Rupa Madhuri, Krishna's beauty is unmatchable. It's uncomparable. So these are the 4 exclusive qualities about Krishna. And then for all of us, how we can access most practical way, Krishna has come in his holy names also. And Krishna's name also is how powerful. This shloka says in Brahmanda Puran, by uttering single name of Krishna just once, like I say Krishna, one attains the same benefit that gained by reciting Vishnu's thousands names 3 times. Right? Vishnu Sahasranam is there, 1,000 name of Vishnu. You say 3 times, recite that. But you just say once Krishna is as good as equivalent to saying Vishnu Sahasranam. And Shiva also says Rama Rama Rameti Manorame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Ramanama Varanam. So that's how again that Krishna's name as Rama. That's how we chant Mahamantra, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is like a direct access given for all of us. And these are the famous episodes which proves the Krishna's holy name is non-different than Krishna himself. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. Krishna has invested all his Shaktis into his holy names. And this is the Ajamil's episode. Now, time is short, but some of you will be knowing surely. We can discuss elaborately also afterwards. Ajamila, he left his Brahminical culture. He got attracted to that prostitute, degraded his all purity and everything. So much so that finally Yamdutas come to catch him at the time of death. But out of fear of Yamdutas, he calls out Narayana. But whose name is Narayana? It was his son who was born. Right at the age of 90, Ajamil begot the son in the womb of that prostitute whose name was Narayana. But Narayana got connected to whom? That Supreme Lord thought he is calling me. Although Ajamil never ever intended to call that Narayana. And that's why Vishnu Dutta appears. Vishnu sends his own servants to protect his devotee. And that's how Ajamila comes to know. Very wonderful episode it is. So that's how the Ajamila Upakhyan is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Gajendra's episode, who has animal body. What to speak of human, even in animals also, they also chant like Gajendra remembered his previous life's prayers and things, and that's why he offered flowers to that Supreme Lord, and immediately Lord appears and chops the head of crocodile and delivers Gajendra. So same things is there for all of us. For this Janmashtami is wonderful opportunity. Take some commitment that every day I will chant. So whatever step our might be, somebody might be chanting 2 rounds, 4 rounds, 8 rounds. Keep the commitment, and one day we should come to the standard. Prabhupada told, if somebody chants 16 rounds every day of Hare Krishna Mahamantra without fail and follow regulative principles, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, I will personally come at the end of his life. I will deliver him. And this is Krishna's devotee's promise. If devotee gives such promise, then Krishna becomes obliged to fulfill the promise of his pure devotees. So for us, there is nothing much difficult. Every day, if you just regulate, get up early in the morning and chant, then you see surely. So check your practice, what level we are, and then try to take up our measures. Like we plan for our family. Today, I'm earning this much. Now in some years I want this much savings, then I want this much savings. But what about our spiritual savings? What we are doing about our spiritual growth? So we have to check. And Janmashtami is a time Krishna is there personally, and he's if like let's say somebody's birthday is there, we go and ask, please give me this. He's in a birthday mode, a gift mode. I mean, he'll offer the gifts. He's in the mood of giving gifts for the people. So we pray for Krishna fervently and ask for his prayers, ask for his strength. Then surely our life will be sublime. And that's why in the our one of the session we also we saw we are like one. God or Krishna is like infinity. One plus infinity becomes infinity. So we add greatest in our life is, and these are the episodes, if you remember, we had discussed Prahlad, Draupadi, Sita, or the life of Srila Prabhupada himself. In one way, if you see, they are just like a children or a woman or an old man, but they hold it on the God in their life was glorified. Prabhupada himself, he traveled. Now, next day of Janmashtami is a Prabhupada appearance day. Prabhupada appearance day we celebrate. So Prabhupada at the age of 70 years, he went on the Jalduta and with the 3 heart attacks, right? And in America also there are no acquaintance, and somehow by distributing the books around, he maintained his livelihoods. But still he went on, went on. He had a faith on that holy name, and he had a faith on the instruction of the pure devotee, that is Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, his spiritual master. So in our life also, if you have that, develop that little bit faith, little bit Shraddha, by regularly practicing our Krishna consciousness chanting, then surely that's why Prabhupada began with that small storefront, and today all over the world, so many holy places and so many devotees, millions of devotees, the people's lives got transformed. So when Prabhupada wanted to establish ISKCON, people told, why don't you put God consciousness? Prabhupada told, we know God, God's name, God's address, everything. Krishna is that God. Why not? So why not to use Krishna? So this Janmashtami is none other than that Krishna's birthday, same Krishna's appearance day. So then surely our life will be sublimed. And this is another proof we saw, right? We want to become freed from all the problems. We don't want problems in our life, right? And we want to attain our best things, that is spiritual world. What is a formula for that? That is Bhagavad Gita says 18.76. Yatra yogeshwara Krishna yatra partho dhanurdhara tatra shrir vijayo bhutir dhruvani tirmatir mama. So this Sanjay is telling, wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. Right? So Janmashtami is the day of welcoming Krishna into our life. We want victory in our life. We don't want failures. We want extraordinary powers. We want to be the best person. We want all the opulences in our life, and we want to remain as a moral person, right? So all these things will be awarded provided we bring Krishna into our life. And that's why Bhagavad Gita is none other than Krishna's word. We saw that, right, in one of our session. So once our devotees were traveling in a train, Radhesham Prabhu is our devotee. So he was telling, people were telling, oh Swamiji, if we bring Bhagavad Gita, it will create a battle in the house, because Bhagavad Gita is the talk of the battle. But Radhesham Prabhu showed him this shloka. You see here what Bhagavad Gita says. If you bring Krishna into our life, bring that Arjuna into our life, then what will happen? You want morality, you want victory, you want powers, you want opulences. This is a formula. But in the name of such wrong misconception, you are not inviting Gita into your life. You are not bringing God also in your life. Our life will be doomed. So that's why the Janmashtami is a wonderful opportunity. Read regularly our scriptures and take some nice commitments towards our spiritual practices. And that's why impossible becomes possible. Pandavas were 5, Kauravas were 100. But 5 became victorious over 100. As per worldly mathematics, 5 is less than 100, much, much less than that. But 5 became more powerful than 100. Why? Because they hold on, they followed the path of Dharma by Lord Krishna. And that's why, thus, anyone who follows in the footsteps of Arjuna will also be successful. And that's why these practices are given for all of us, chanting every day. Hare Krishna. So, any questions anybody have, any comments? They can put it in the chat box. Officially, our time is over, but somebody wants to ask any question, any comments, they can write into the chat box. Okay. If any questions are there, they can write. Otherwise, then we'll end. So just to revise briefly, we saw the Bhrugumuni story. Then we saw the 6 opulences of Krishna. And then we saw some verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. And then after that, the discussion about Krishna's episodes. How that episodes proves Krishna is superior. He's even master of Brahma, Indra, Shiva, and all the Devi Devatas. And that's how we saw some practical examples from scriptures, Prahlad, Draupadi, or even Srila Prabhupada just 50 years before, right? So that's how that truths are eternal. Today, physics, math says something. Tomorrow, some other theory may come. But these are the spiritual truths which are unchangeable. So we don't want change in our life, right? If change comes, life becomes disturbed. If regulated life is there, so nice. So that will be possible provided we hold on to that supreme unchangeable. That is that supreme Lord who never ever goes away from his life, or from his words. And he is always there with all of us in our life. And he's waiting actually. He's there in our heart as super soul. He's waiting for all of us. Okay, fine, I'm ready to wait. You want some time and all? I'm ready to wait if you're wanting to turn towards me. Yeah, verbal test meaning is what? Brahma, it was mental test. Means mentally, Bhrigu just did like this. I mean, he did not offer respect. But for Shiva, he spoke the words. Hey Shiva, what kind of god you are? You are like putting ash around you, or you are putting a snake around you. You are like a dirty person. Don't come near me. So verbally, he caused, kind of agitation to Shiva, and that's how Shiva showed that anger. So that is a verbal test. With Vishnu, it is a physical test. Means physically he kicked on the chest of Vishnu. So physical test is even more dangerous. Somebody can tolerate mentally, somebody neglects or things, okay. Somebody speaks some things, okay, fine. But somebody does physical something to us and all, that is not acceptable. So that's why physical test, it was more tough, directly physical kicking on the chest of Lord Vishnu. So that is meaning of it. So if somebody wants to ask anything and all, they're welcome. They can write into the our WhatsApp number also, what through which you get your intimations about the sessions or the meetings. So there you can surely write. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Janmashtami Mahamotsav ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.